What's good, YouTube? Back with a little video on essentially power systems. We're going to be discussing the 10 best types of power systems in anime and manga. This is by Shonen Theory. Shout out to Barrel. I heard the first couple seconds, so we know this isn't another repeat of AI voiceover. You know what I'm saying? Excellent ratios, chat. You know what I'm saying? We pre-fried at like 1.7K and 1.65K. Excellent ratios. This is bad ratios though. So little people like compared to how many people viewed it. But yeah. Shout out to Shonen Theory, Discord comments link in the description. That'll help you get notified from this YouTube video, which is twice daily. You'll also be able to just scroll through my YouTube catalogs as well as the different stream VODs. So tap in with the Discord community if you're interested in that and just tapping in with the community. Without further ado, we'll hop straight into it.
What if you could create a world where the very fabric of its power system hooks your readers from the first moment, leaving them utterly captivated and craving more? Well-written power systems are what turned One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, and Avatar: The Last Airbender into global phenomena. You can even say that power systems are the lifeblood of manga and anime. And if you're writing your own shonen story, you need to have a strong power system. The right power system doesn't just make your story better, it makes your audience obsessed. After reading hundreds of manga and watching a lifetime of anime, I've narrowed down the 10 best power systems you can use in your story. Let's take a look. Number 1. Object or artifact-based power systems. This power system allows characters to gain their abilities through interactions with special objects. These objects can be natural, man-made, or supernatural. The object often has specific rules or limitations tied to its use, adding layers of complexity to the story. In One Piece,
I feel like it's a tough vibe. Like I mess with the ambiance, but also I feel it is common. Like I like how you mentioned man-made artifacts like Zanpakuto. We see that Owasu created like every Zanpakuto, and they're like pretty much like an object that essentially evolves and adapts with its user. I definitely think this is top 10. It could even be top 5, to be honest.
devil fruits are mysterious fruits that grant unique abilities to those who consume them. For example, Luffy's Gum Gum fruit allows him to stretch his body like rubber. However, eating a devil fruit permanently removes the user's ability to swim, a critical weakness in a world full of oceans. In Death Note, Light Yagami gains a supernatural notebook dropped by the Shinigami Ryuk. This notebook allows him to kill anyone whose name he writes, provided he knows their face. The Death Notes.
That's what's tough. See, we talked about that in the other video. I wish I remember the name of the creator. He was talking about pretty much the trifecta of power systems and like what makes them good. And it was like an ability having like 2 out of 3, or at least one of the 3 being like drawbacks, weaknesses, and limitations. An example would be like drawback of the Shinigami eyes, or you could probably say a drawback of the Death Note is like you don't know their name, or you got to learn their name. Shinigami eyes, the drawback is you lose half your lifespan, and then like a weakness or a limitation of Death Note is you have to be thinking of their face, so you can't just write somebody's name. You gotta know what they look like, and then that is like the confirmation switch to like let the command go off, and then. Yeah, I don't think there's really any like limitations to how
Its power is governed by intricate rules, forcing its user to think carefully and strategically to avoid detection. In Bleach, Zanpakuto are swords that serve as extensions of a Soul Reaper's spiritual power. Each Zanpakuto has a unique name and ability, evolving into stronger forms, such as Shikai and Bankai, through understanding and synergy with the wielder's soul. Number 2. Energy or life force-based power systems. Energy-based power systems rely on unseen energy, often derived from the character's life force or emotions to manifest abilities. Mastery involves intense training, understanding the source of the energy, and creative application. In Hunter x Hunter, Nen is the ability to manipulate one's aura, the life energy surrounding them. This energy is categorized into distinct types, such as enhancement, which strengthens the user's physical.
That's interesting too, because like the way you improve ki, chakra, or whatever is through training because it's life energy. So one could argue it normally gets stronger when you're like kind of training with that desire to either like prolong your life, like you're working harder to like keep yourself safe or keep others safe. But you could also argue like when you're physically fit and in like your prime when it comes to being in shape, when it comes to like, in some cases they have to meditate to make this stronger. In some cases they have to like do physical strenuous training. You are like peaking your stats, and like at that point your life vessel is as full as it could be, if that makes sense.
Physical abilities, or conjuration, which creates objects out of aura. Mastering Nen requires discipline and strategic thinking, making it versatile and personal to each user. In Jujutsu Kaisen, cursed energy originates from negative human emotions, such as fear or anger. Sorcerers channel this energy to perform powerful cursed techniques, like Gojo's Infinity, which manipulates space. The buildup of
Such an interesting power system. Why is Twitch trying to try me? Don't tell me to verify my email. Yeah, GG's. I thought like JJK is a very interesting like twist on the energy or life force based power, because its drive is driven by negative energy, because like curses are like a negative thing and it's kind of like fighting fire with fire. Which is why for Gojo, like people learn reverse curse technique, it's like negative on negative, right? Which is like contrasted to other versions of this power system where like it could be driven by like your anger, it can go up by like your wanting to protect. It's things of that nature, like Goku Super Saiyan. It tends to be seen that way, and like even though anger is like a crazy amp, like with what happened with Gon when he was like trying to slide for Kite, JJK's entire power system is based off those negative emotions. So it's like you gotta really think about it, the like grief and stuff that the type Naruto, yeah, you gotta think about type of grief these like top tiers had to have gone through to be able to channel this, because like you gotta think about it, you cannot just be a happy-go-lucky person and use curse energy, technically speaking, and that's probably why Yuji couldn't use it in the beginning, right? And he had to train with that little joint that punched him in the jaw. Yeah, I listened none gang. I have no clue, bro said here
checked negative energy can also spawn cursed spirits, making the system inherently dangerous. In Dragon Ball, Ki represents the life force that fighters channel for extraordinary abilities. Techniques like the Kamehameha or the Spirit Bomb utilize vast amounts of Ki. Overuse of Ki can exhaust a user, creating a balance between offense and energy conservation.
In a lot of cases too, it's like when they overuse these powers, they're like cooked. Like, oh yeah, they have no more of this power in their body, they're dead. You know what I'm saying? It's because it is literally like an extension of your life, so to speak. So when you overuse, when you run out, you're kind of cooked. Why are you watching What's the Best Power Type? We're running reacts. First 2 hours of stream is always reacts. You know what I'm saying? We got plenty of vids in the chamber. For the YouTube, if you ain't know, we posting on YouTube twice daily. We just be going crazy. We got reacts up there. We got gameplay. Bet. Yeah, we run reacts. If Twitch wasn't and YouTube wasn't so like weird about it, I low-key would. I could also like react to like certain episodes of anime. I'd do all types of stuff, like movies, all types of stuff. But I know YouTube be home and you got like censor crazy, so I just be reacting to other YouTube videos.
Number 3, magic-based power systems. This classic power system has magic or mana serving as the core energy source. Limitations often come from resource management, forbidden techniques, or moral consequences. In Black Clover,
we got cooked and then we cooked because it was hooping. That's one of the greatest feelings though. When you go on runs with your dog, you know what I'm saying? I be popping like team combos and you be feeling the team Kim. That's some of the best feelings. Getting fried though is crazy. But y'all got y'all get back though, you know what I'm saying?
Most characters are born with an affinity for magic, which they enhance through grimoires. Asta, the protagonist, lacks magic, but wields a grimoire that nullifies others' spells, turning his weakness into a formidable strength. In Fairy Tail, magic is tied to a wizard's specific talent, such as Natsu's fire-based Dragon Slayer magic or Lucy's celestial summoning. Magic depletes a user's stamina and can strain
Back pass, no look, and the motherfucker missed. GG's. That is also one of the like craziest feelings. Cause it's like nail biting when you pull like a clutch play, especially when it's like a pass. And like you have to it's like, bro, you're wide open. I hit you with the craziest play, and then your teammate sells your parlay. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh yeah, he's wide open. You know, you went to drive. They bid on the fake. You know what I'm saying? They went to go contest. You get the board, whatever. Kicks it out to bro. Sells your clip. Shoot nothing but bricks. You know what I'm saying?
Relationships with powerful entities, like celestial spirits. In Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, magic is derived from Rook, the essence of life and fate. Magicians manipulate White Rook for positive spells, or succumb to Black Rook for destructive powers, reflecting their moral alignment. Number 4. Technique or training-based power systems. In this power system, abilities come solely from hard work, discipline, and dedication.
So Dragon Ball's included in this? I'm thinking he's talking about like those shows that it's more like technical. Like he showed Ippo. I'm thinking like Hajime no Ippo. I'm thinking Kuroko. Well, I'm thinking like sports anime. I mean, there's also other. I'm trying to think of some other good examples of like just technique. But he says technique slash like training.
Anyone with the determination and opportunity can learn and master these skills. In Demon Slayer,
What's the power scaling? Is just mixing everything. He's basically like looking at. He's basically kind of just discussing top 10 best types of power systems. So he's going over like, oh yeah, there's magic, there's life force based, but like 10, it's like off the top of your head. Not everybody can just name like 10 types of power systems. So I'm trying to just go through this and see if there's some that like, I don't know about, some that like maybe I do know about. Like for example, magic. I think it's played out kinda, but if magic as a power system is done really well, like with some manga that I've read, a good example is like Infinite Mage. I always call out Infinite Mage, where like they look at mana in terms of like how we look at like data. It's like kind of like ones and zeros, where you can like do crazy customizations on your spells. Like, oh yeah, this is the average, you know what I'm saying, magic bullet spell, but mine has spin on it, so it goes further because you know what I'm saying, stuff like that is hard. Stuff like that is hard.
breathing techniques amplify physical abilities and mimic elemental effects, such as water breathing's fluid movements or flame breathing's intense strikes.
The creator did say that these are all special effects. So in verse, they're all just like swordsmen. You know what I'm saying? And for us, we see like the fire, but I guess for everyone else, it's like they just think about the water. So like, oh, this swordsmanship is very fluid. It's kind of like if you've read any like Miram manhwa, they talk about like strength sword, speed sword, stuff like that. Yeah, he should have said it, low-key. He shouldn't have said it, low-key.
The system emphasizes rigorous physical and mental training, with the most skilled swordsmen achieving extraordinary feats. In One Piece, Haki is a latent ability that allows users to enhance.
Okay, so he's talking about like, so Haki's a technique, and he also talked about One Piece with like the object-based powers, kind of like Zanpakutos and like Devil Fruits. So he's not like, okay, he's not talking about one versus power system. He's talking about the different groups and power systems that kind of overlap within different shows, and sometimes the same show. Like One Piece has these technique-based power systems like Haki. Luffy had to train that for like the 2 years, versus like the Devil Fruit, which he also had to train with, but that gave him abilities that were supernatural. Like I ain't watching Zenitsu literally dashing like a thunder, and then you tell me it's all imaginary. On, bro. It's like, so he's just a fast dude. Like that's it. He was just like jumping from like tree to tree and just went in the air, all cinematic like, and just came down regular.
Enhance their combat skills. All Haki types, except for Conqueror's Haki, can be achieved.
When you think about it in verse, that probably looks so crazy because we're singing with all these sound effects, all these visual effects. They're like silent, bro. All you hear is these are just like, you know what I'm saying? They're not even like, bro, because they're barely speaking. It's combat. It's either dead silence, and then all you hear in the back is just like crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? He was flying in the sky in the spider arc. That's what I'm saying. I remember that vividly, by the way.
Achieved through effort.
No lighting.
Observation. Haki enables users to sense hidden enemies or predict attacks,
like one of my favorite
while armament
powers.
haki strengthens their physical strikes and weapons.
Haki would be tough.
Only through intense training can one unlock.
The main reason I think hockey is a tough power system too is I always think there's only two scenarios when you go like, oh, what if like I had a superpower? There's only two scenarios you go with. It's the scenario where everyone has powers, so then you kind of gotta go with something a little OP, or else you can get washed. Like you're not gonna go with, oh yeah, with my power, whenever I touch any item, I can equip it stylishly. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Caleb City. You're gonna go with like a more based power, right? Like I don't know, enhanced perception, some crazy where like you can actually at least stand a chance against other people. And then there's a scenario where you're the only one with powers, and it's like you'd want to go with something that doesn't get you like caught by like any type of CIA or government agency and tested on money. And hockey is one of them because the armament that we see in the show, you can't actually see inverse unless you're another hockey user. So if you're the only one with this power, you just are tanky for some reason, and you can turn it on and off. Then there's observation, which they can't see you see something come ahead of time. They just think you're instinctual. You feel me? And then conquerors, I feel like you can't abuse it because the people are eventually gonna realize like, dang, every time he gets mad, everyone just passes out. But if you use it every now and then, you know what I'm saying? Pass it off as like, that dude just has hard issues, you know what I'm saying? I'm not using my word, trust.
And master these abilities. In Baki, martial artists push human limits, mastering combat techniques that border on superhuman. For example, Baki's grappling skills or Orochi Katsumi's devastating karate-based attacks are the result of relentless practice.
You forgetting about that one dude, bruh, who was on time and he like put his hand on he put his hand on like the like, because it was like bulletproof glass or something. They had him in prison and he like used like a suction cup or something and it popped up in glass.
And innovation. Number 5, natural law or rule-based power systems. Power systems based on natural law operate through unalterable rules tied to the story's universe, creating constraints that characters must navigate creatively. Full Metal Alchemist is possibly the best example of this power system. Alchemy is governed by the principle of equivalent exchange. To create something, an equal value must be sacrificed. Even with powerful tools like the Philosopher's Stone, the laws of alchemy cannot be truly bypassed, forcing characters to grapple with moral and physical limitations. In Made in Abyss, the Abyss's layers have unique properties, such as the Curse of the Abyss, which inflicts physical and psychological harm on those who ascend. The deeper one ventures, the harsher the consequences, emphasizing the perilous nature of exploration. Number 6, genetic or bloodline-based power systems. In this power system, abilities are inherited, though not always guaranteed. This system often explores themes of privilege, destiny, and anomalies. For example, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, benders inherit the ability to manipulate elements, though it's not guaranteed. Sokka is a non-bender, despite his lineage. The Avatar's unique ability...
That is crazy, but I think in Sokka's case it kind of makes sense. Because like, for example, take the air nomads. They all bend air. So it's like, all of them. I mean, if that's the case though, Sokka's dad is an anomaly. I just know Sokka's dad is a non-bender. His mom, I don't think she was a bender. She might have been, who knows. I don't think she was. But I think it was like a dormant gene type situation. And then Katara got it. Versus like, more isolated area. Because mind you, that's what it really was. His tribe didn't have a lot of waterbenders versus like the other tribe that did. So like I could imagine, obviously, like anomalies are born, like you don't have powers, and then that kind of, as it goes down the tree, it can just be more common for like a particular place to not have powers. Versus like I feel like the air nomads, every single one of them had powers because they're all in this one space, and it's particularly for benders. You feel me? Versus like I think when the water tribe split over time, because there were anomalies and there wasn't like a surplus of benders, it eventually, like, you know what I'm saying? Just like how in The Legend of Korra, there's like a whole group of people who just can't bend, and they were like basically hating on benders. They were like, oh, life is so easy for them. Da-da-da. We work blue collar jobs. You know what I'm saying?
To bend all 4 elements is a gift from Rava, the spirit of light and balance, making them...
I don't need all 4, bro. Let me tell you the order I would like take them in terms of versatility and like real life use. it's a split between first. It's a tie for first, earth or air, interchangeably. I don't think it really matters. You know what I'm saying? I generally would say air, but I'll take earth too. You know what I'm saying? You can use that more in your day to day. Air is everywhere though, gang. I would say air. Let me get air, then let me get earth, then probably water. Fire is tough, but like, you know, it's like you gotta control it. You ain't trying to burn your house down.
The bridge between worlds. In Fire Force, pyrokinetics are born randomly, with abilities categorized by generation. Third generation users generate flames, while second generation users manipulate pre-existing fire. These abilities are innate, creating disparities between those born with and without powers. In Naruto, bloodline abilities, or Kekai Genkai, such as the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan, are powerful but often carry significant burdens, like the tragic destiny tied to the Uchiha's cursed history. Number 7. Familiar?
Bro, me and my cuz was talking about this like for an hour, gang. Naruto is so deep and like what the characters stand for, bro. And we're talking about how Danzo is a dirty, slimy individual, gang. Because he kind of orchestrated the coup on the low. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Once Itachi heard what he heard, he had to, like, snitch to the higher-ups. And then it was like, it's a matter of time, bro. And then coincidentally, Obito was there. So then it's like, even if Itachi couldn't handle slime in the entire clan, now it's a 2v. Whatever. They did, like, squad wipe the entire clan in 2v, like, 200 plus.
Animal or contract-based power systems. In this power system, characters gain powers through bonds with other entities, such as animals, spirits, or supernatural beings. These bonds often come with conditions, benefits, and risks. For example, in Soul Eater, Meisters and demon weapons work in pairs, with weapons transforming into forms like scythes or swords. Power depends on the synchronization of their souls, requiring mutual trust and harmony to reach their full potential. In Chainsaw Man, devil hunters form contracts with devils, exchanging something valuable, like years of their life or body parts, for the devil's power. These contracts come with high risks, as devils can exploit loopholes or demand steep prices. In Pokemon, trainers form bonds with their Pokemon, who possess unique strengths, weaknesses, and abilities. The relationship between trainer and Pokemon directly affects their effectiveness in battle and overall growth. Number 8. Gift-based power systems. These power systems showcase abilities granted by divine entities, supernatural creatures, powerful figures, or destiny. The recipient is usually chosen, the protagonist, for a specific role or purpose. In My Hero Academia, Deku inherits...
In My Hero, bro, they be talking about Prime All Might, like this was Jesus' incarnation, man. It's Prime All... Bro. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? When he was active as a hero, the crime rate dropped to 0.01%. What? One dude dropped the crime rate that low? Y'all afraid of this? He not even Superman. You know what I'm saying? There's no laser vision. But to be fair, he is putting beats on you. That's like Batman tier. Like, I'm sure he's not breaking bones like Batman is. He could. He very well could. But like, he's not punching with his full strength. You feel me? But it's like, low key, arguably, it's probably more intimidating to fight like this. Probably like 6'5", 300-pound male. Because he was in his prime. He was in that form consistently. Swole. His muscles got muscles. You know what I'm saying? He's flying through the air just off like super jump like he's the Incredible Hulk. And he has hair like he's a Super Saiyan. You know what? They got it.
It's one for all, a power passed down through generations. This quirk accumulates strength from its previous users, giving Deku the responsibility and ability to grow exponentially stronger. In Kaiju number 8, Kafka is granted immense strength and resilience after a sentient kaiju fuses with his body. This power transforms him into a hybrid capable of combating other kaiju on equal footing. Number 9. Protagonist-based power systems. In this power system, the power applies only to the protagonist, setting them apart in a way that shapes the entire narrative. For example, in Death Note, Light, Yagami's possession of the Death Note gives him a unique and
He made other Kiras though.
unparalleled ability to control life and death. His intellectual prowess amplifies the impact of the notebook, allowing him to manipulate others and maintain his anonymity. In Ragnar Crimson, Ragnar receives immense power from his future self, who transfers decades of experience and effort back to his past self. This transformation enables him to fight dragons, a seemingly impossible feat for ordinary humans. In solo leveling, Jinwoo is chosen by the Shadow Monarch,
I need to watch Ragnar Crimson. There's no way he pulled like a Gon, but instead he was like, yeah, the future me gave me all of his experiences, all of his abilities, and I just have this consistently. How do you explain that? Is his lifespan cut in half or something?
Granting him the unique ability to level up and grow stronger without limits. This sets him apart from other hunters who rely on fixed abilities. Number 10. Hybrid power systems. Hybrid types are actually the most common type of power system. These power systems combine elements from multiple power systems or use several separate systems within the same world. Good examples would be One Piece. It combines Devil Fruits, artifact-based, Haki, training-based, and Conqueror's Haki, genetic-based. These systems interact.
I started off saying that this might not be AI, but this is definitely AI, the way like they're pronouncing things.
To create diverse and strategic combat scenarios. Avatar combines bending, genetic-based, with the Avatar's unique 4-element power, gift-based, blending inherited abilities with divine responsibility. And My Hero Academia features both inherited quirks, genetic-based, and One for All, gift-based, highlighting societal disparities and the weight of legacy. Now that we've explored these 10 epic power systems, it's time to craft a power system that's entirely your own. Watch our next video for a detailed step-by-step guide.
Man, we ain't doing all that, man. Shout out to Shonen Theory. I need to stay away from these AI videos. I can't mess with the fact that it's like AI generated because the voice really like, it don't compute with my brain. You know what I'm saying? But that was the 10 best types of power systems in anime and manga. Shout out Shonen Theory, you know what I'm saying? He at least still wrote the script. And as always, y'all know what time to find me tomorrow, man. Peace.